Mark, 4 minutes until airtime here on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 3 minutes until airtime. Mark, 3 minutes until airtime on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue comes with 2 minutes until airtime. Mark, 2 minutes until airtime here on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 1 minute until airtime. Mark, network stations, we are 1 minute until airtime on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Studios, please start your archive recording. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues during today's broadcast, please call the Appalachian State Studio Hotline at area code 336-831-0827. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime. Mark, 30 seconds until airtime. Once again, stations, if you encounter any issues during the broadcast, please call the App State Studio Hotline at 336-831-0827. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Appalachian Sports Network.
This is Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge and hosted at River Street Ale House on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield. Your weekly inside scoop on App State basketball. Mountaineer Talk is also brought to you by Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, the official soft drink of your App State Mountaineers. And by UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward together. Now, to get things started, here's your host, Matt Present.
Happy Monday. Welcome to River Street Ale House in Mountaineer Talk. It's presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. moving healthcare forward together. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, whether you're here in person at River Street Ale House or wherever you may be listening or watching us this evening. Thank you for being a part of our show. A lot of guests to get to on the docket tonight. Terence Harcum leading things off, and then on the women's side, Taylor Lewis will join us. Head coach Dustin Kerns a little bit later, and Evan Turkish making his Mountaineer Talk debut. He's filling in for Angel Elderkin. Plenty of ways to reach out to the show tonight as well. You can tweet us by using the hashtag Mountaineer Talk on Twitter, or email mountaineertalk@gmail.com. Also, you can reach us via the text line 828-295-2063 to get in touch with the show. All right. Terence Harcum leading us off, coming off 26 points on the road against Georgia Southern. It's now been 3 20-point games for you in the last 4 games. What is it like kind of hitting your stride and just, I imagine, seeing that basket expand and expand?
Oh, it feels good, man. I put a lot of work in for shots to go in like that, and I'm just glad it's paying off. So,
got a question from our email line that we'll get to right off the bat. Going to Georgia Southern, going on the road to tough environments, what is the mentality that you and the team bring to be able to come out with a win in front of crowds like those?
To get a win by any means necessary. We know it's going to be a hard-fought game. The environment was great. A real rivalry game, if you will. But, yeah, man, just have a win-at-all-cost mindset.
Let's go back in your career a little bit. Just as you reflect on where you are now relative to the player that came to App State a few years ago, how would you describe where you've grown your game the most?
Obviously, physically, I've gotten a lot bigger, stronger, faster, but I feel like I've gotten a lot smarter as well, man. Coming in, I thought I was a pretty smart player, but just, my freshman year, sitting the bench and actually watching the game from a different perspective, kind of why my view of basketball can be played, and ultimately, I feel like that just helped me in the long run.
What are some of those things where you've learned to see the game a little bit differently in college compared to high school?
One, the speed, man. The speed and strength is a big difference from college and high school. And just making the right reads. I think I've said this before, man, but that's everything in basketball. It's about reading, reacting, and making sure I have the right reads out there.
As you look back on the year that you guys have had, big home wins against Auburn and JMU, and just the way this crowd has grown, and obviously another big opportunity at home on Saturday against Toledo in front of another good crowd. But what has it been like over the course of the last few years just to see the passion around this program continue to grow?
It's great, man. It's always good when you can, pack the home center and get the fans out there, man. That helps us out, especially for home games. And we love playing in front of the fans, man. It gives us the extra step, if you will.
And you got here to River Street Ale House a little bit early today, and you were hanging out with some fans, signing autographs, taking pictures. I would imagine that when you're going through the recruiting process, those are the things that you probably aren't focused on. But what has it been like just to immerse yourself in the Boone community and have fans coming up to you and giving you hugs and taking pictures and all that stuff?
It's an amazing feeling, man. Growing up, I kind of always wanted to, see what that aspect of basketball was, and the fact that I'm going through it right now is amazing to me.
Talk about growing up. When did you start playing basketball? When did you start really realizing that you had the potential to play at a high level? You've talked about it before. You're from a small town. I looked it up today. Butner, North Carolina, 9,000 population. So just kind of how did you get into basketball at an early age?
Man, when I was around 3 or 4, man, my dad got me a little mini hoop. I'm sure every basketball player has had one growing up, man. And from there, man, it just kind of took off. My dad started his own AAU team called North Carolina Swarm. We used to run North Carolina, by the way, North Carolina Swarm. But, yeah, man, just for my dad kind of putting me in different AAU programs and him having his own team kind of developed my love for basketball, man.
And then once you get into high school and realize that you have the potential to play at the next level, what did it take to get noticed? What are your memories of when Coach Kerns and the staff first got in touch with you?
Man, it was a dream come true, man. I feel like in high school I flew under the radar, but Coach Kerns and them believed in me. And when he threw the offer out there to me, man, I was in tears. I couldn't believe it, man. So I was extremely happy about that.
What do you remember about your first trip up to Boone?
My first trip, I think it was for a camp, actually. an elite camp up here, man. I met the coaching staff in person, I think, for the first time. Played some ball here, man. I liked it, man. I enjoyed the mountains. The scenery here is amazing. I know I keep saying it, but I'm big on that, man. So it was a really good first experience with me.
You talk about your dad and your AAU program growing up. Was there a particular player, whether it be in college or in the NBA, that you kind of modeled your game after?
Growing up, I would say I watched a lot of Chris Paul.
Okay.
Kind of don't play like him, I know, but I kind of watched a lot of Chris Paul. Who about Kobe? Obviously, just those type of players.
But you talk about your style of play, and in high school you were kind of the primary scorer, and in college you've transitioned into more of a shooting role. What has that adjustment been like to just not only the shift in the mentality, but also really honing in on shooting as being a primary skill set?
It's a little bit of a difference, but I mean, at the end of the day, I work hard, I bust my tail every day, and I feel like making that adjustment, it just came with, getting more reps at it, and that's what I've been doing, and hopefully it'll keep paying off for me.
Yeah, absolutely. You had some big threes against Georgia Southern. You've hit a bunch recently, but you told me that the one you hit in overtime to tie the game at 83 on Saturday was the second most memorable three in your career. Tell us about the first.
I was a freshman in high school against a rival school. It was like 5 on the clock, man. I drove it up full court. Shot a 3 for game, and that was crazy, especially as a freshman in high school at the time. So, yeah, that was my
Was that like your I've made it moment?
You can say that.
Yeah.
You can say that, yeah.
Tell me about what you're studying here at App State.
I'm a recreation management major and a minor in general business.
And you told me that you've got a really fun elective. You're taking badminton this spring. What caught your eye with that one?
Just want to try something new, man. I see it all over social media, and I wanted to give it a try.
All right, down the stretch, we've talked about it with Coach. We've talked about it with your teammates. You guys know you're getting everyone's best shot. What is it that you guys need to maintain as you close out the regular season and head into the postseason just to continue to play the kind of basketball you guys have been playing?
Just keep being at App State day in and day out, man. I feel like that's what's got us here, and we got to continue to do that to stay here. So just being at App State.
Terence, it's been a lot of fun this season. Congratulations and keep it up.
Thank you.
Terence Harcum kicking off Mountaineer Talk here tonight. Before we take a break, we want to make sure you don't miss out on an upcoming event, Champion of the Rock, on March 16th at the Grandview Ballroom. That's located in Kid Brewer Stadium's North End Zone building. Enjoy a night full of casino-style games and a poker tournament to determine who is the champion of the Rock. All proceeds go to benefiting App State student-athletes. Visit MountaineersAthleticFund.com for information on how to register and get involved. This is Mountaineer Talk. Head coach Dustin Kerns joins us next as the show continues right after this from Learfield.
Covering App State University, Carolina West Wireless, Mountaineers get the most reliable coverage on campus and across the country with our high-speed nationwide network. We have all the latest devices you want, including Apple and Samsung. We're so confident in the experience you'll have with us, we're offering a 30-day risk-free trial. Carolina West Wireless is proud to be the official wireless provider of the Mountaineers. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
A winning team is more than the sum of its parts, in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
We'll have more Mountaineer Talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
For generations, hard-working people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
App State's top-ranked online MBA is designed for you. It's a flexible, accredited part-time program that works with your busy schedule and allows you to earn your MBA in 2 years. Learn online from the same faculty who teach on campus with the unmatched personalized interaction and support we're known for at Appalachian. Your App State MBA is within reach, wherever you are in life. Take the next step. Apply by July 1st at onlinemba.appstate.edu.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to the show. Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward together. Head coach Dustin Kerns alongside his comments brought to you by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. All right, Coach, 2 more wins on the road this week. Not that they were easy, but your team continues to find a way to get it done. 19-4 this season, 10-1 in Sun Belt play. We'll just continue to rattle off some of these accolades. Up to 4th in the mid-major top 25 poll. Receiving votes for the 2nd week in a row in the AP and coaches poll. Only team in the country undefeated against Quad 1 and Quad 2 teams, and the only team in the nation with multiple 8-game winning streaks. When you hear all that and you try to put words to what this season has been like so far, recognizing that there's still goals ahead of you, I mean, just how fun has this ride been?
Yeah, well, I think we're a confident group, but you know what? You just made me a little bit more confident rolling off those stats. That's pretty good. Keep going. That's pretty, it's hard to win on the road, especially when you're, sitting in first place and you're getting everybody's best shot. We went through 2 blue outs this weekend. The Lances here tonight, they were there with us. They saw 2 blue outs,
Which shade of blue do you like less?
I don't want to say it on air, but I think everybody knows, right? But when you're going and now you got to go through, so you're a big game from everybody, and then so it's even harder, and so just as you see some of the top teams in the nation, right, like Kansas losing at Central Florida, North Carolina going down to Georgia Tech, like it's hard to win on the road. You get everybody's best shot. So for us to go to get 2 road wins and just find a way to win, I thought said a lot about our group. And really proud of our guys for getting. It's hard. It's not easy. It's a long travel. It's a long season, and so proud of our guys for getting the job done.
I want to get to Terence Harcum in a second, but first, just to go back to that game on Saturday, playing in overtime. You guys have done it 3 times now this year, but I'm just kind of curious. Does coaching change it all in overtime? Because sometimes it feels like a different game. Like, yeah, it's 5 minutes, but based on, foul situation or timeout situation or just kind of how those minutes are played in overtime, it has a bit of a different feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it. And, I remember there was one game where, maybe Trayvon had 4 fouls. We didn't start him there in the overtime. And so, I think that, certainly we had a foul to give there at the end. We executed that really well. We wanted the foul before half court, so they had to take the ball back out again. And then they, chose to call a timeout. But so I think that there's a lot of things that go into it. And, sometimes it's just getting the emotion kind of calmed down. And there's certainly momentum plays. But, we were down 3 under 50 seconds. Terence Harcum hit a big shot. I think the great thing about Saturday that says a lot about our teams, we had 5 different players score in 5 consecutive possessions.
Wow.
So Miles Tate, Donovan Gregory at the end there, Terence Harcum, Justin Abson, Trayvon Spillers. 5 consecutive scores, 5 different players. That's a sign of a good team.
Winning on the road is tough, as you say. It's a little bit easier when you have a guy like Terence Harcum scoring over 20 points in back-to-back games. How would you describe what he's been doing for your team here of late?
Well, he's good at basketball, and he's a guy that's an in-state guy, and we want to recruit this state. And we really put, he was a guy that we offered early, and we're able to get a commitment in August from him. Comes from a great family. Terence Sr. and Tasha, just a wonderful family. Terence is a great kid. Let me tell you something about him, too. He's a worker. right? And the game of basketball rewards work. So I usually get in every morning around 8 a.m., and he beats me there. And he's got class, but he was there this morning. Now, not to mention, we've got practice at 3:30 today, but he was in the gym this morning getting up shots. And so he's just a really hard worker. And so as a coach, you love that about him because you love seeing the work pay off. He's done really well academically. And so certainly just proud of him. And man, he'll meet the moment, and I think we've got several guys that'll meet the moment. And Miles Tate's met the moment this year. Donovan Gregory's met the moment. Justin Abson's met the moment, right? C.J. Huntley's met the moment before. Trayvon, so he's another guy that just is not afraid of the moment, and he's not afraid of the big shot. And you got to love that about him. I think Donovan Mitchell, by the way. I know he mentioned Chris Paul. I think Donovan Mitchell, because he's just a bucket getter. He can put the round thing and the round thing, and he's really good at it.
I like that. That might be a call at some point. Before we take a break, he talked about that, or you talked about that commitment. He talks about coming out of a small town in North Carolina. I always love when you talk about your memories recruiting guys. What comes to mind when you think back to that process with Terence?
Sitting on my couch during COVID and watching several games of his that my staff had put together, because it was during that time that we could not get out. And now he had been to elite camp the year before, but I remember watching on my couch one afternoon a bunch of high school kids, and I texted the staff afterwards, please send me Terence Harcum's number. I'm offering him a full scholarship. And you know what? A couple months later, he's committed, and, man, he's been a good one.
Sure has. All right, we'll take a timeout, come back with plenty more here on Mountaineer Talk. App State Athletics would like to extend a special thank you to App State University Alumni Association for their sponsorship of Saturday's men's basketball game against Toledo. It's Alumni Day. Thank you for your continued support of App State Athletics. We'll take a timeout. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues right after this from Learfield.
Pepsi's to the next level. A zero sugar cola has never tasted this good, but we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test, starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best zero sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
For over 60 years, Daniel Boone Inn has been serving Boone and the High Country delicious family-style meals that take you back to your grandma's table. Whether it's our family-style dinner with our signature fried chicken and country ham biscuits served with traditional Southern vegetables, or our classic Southern breakfast with such favorites as scrambled eggs, local country ham, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, and more, you're sure to feel right at home at the Daniel Boone Inn. So be sure to stop by in pregame, postgame, or let us prepare your next tailgate at The Rock.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
You, nature lover. Ever heard of us? We're Boone, North Carolina. High up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, with vistas that go on forever. Adventure that never stops, and challenges you've yet to try. We've got every outdoor pursuit you can imagine, and cozy lodging. Explore Boone.
It's game day, a day where great food, friends, and family always come together. And bringing people together is what Harris Teeter is all about. We make sure you have the best and most delicious game day foods. Whether you're heading to the arena or making your own tailgate at home, Harris Teeter is always game day ready. And you can save big on your game day celebration just by joining EVIC. Sign up today and save hundreds of dollars per month on the items you love most. Harris Teeter, let's game day together.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. Thanks so much for joining us here at River Street Ale House or wherever you may be listening or watching. Head coach Dustin Kerns alongside. And Coach, we talked deservingly so about this week's guest. I think we got to go back to last week's guest as well. The Mountaineer Talk bump, maybe, for Justin Abson. A terrific game at Georgia State. Nearly a triple-double. 15 points, 16 boards, 7 blocks. And then we go to Georgia Southern, and he goes for a career-high 20 points. I mean, we've talked about his talent shot blocking. He's gotten better rebounding. What has he unlocked with his offensive game here of late?
You know what? He's oozing with confidence, certainly from the defensive end, and it's translated over to the offensive end. He's always been a guy that's a very cerebral player. He's a really good passer, and now really scoring. He had an incredible weekend.
Yeah.
And, I mean, 20 backed it up with 20 points against Georgia Southern and 8 rebounds, but 15 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 blocks is incredible. And so really proud of him. And, yeah, I don't know what else more I could say about him other than, and the game-winning block.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to an important moment in tonight's show. We're giving away tickets. 4 tickets to the women's game on Wednesday and then 4 tickets to the men's game against Toledo on Saturday with this trivia question. So if you want in-venue here, pull out your phones, get to the Mountaineer Talk Facebook page on the App State Athletics Facebook, and we have this trivia question. First correct answer, 4 tickets to the women's basketball game on Wednesday and the men's basketball game on Saturday. Abson now with 72 blocks this season. That puts him 3 away from the App State single-season program record. By the way, he passed himself last year, finished with 70 as a freshman. So the question is, who is the active leader for blocks in a single season at App State? Again, we're taking submissions on Facebook, on the Facebook live stream here of Mountaineer Talk. All right, we'll get you the winner at the next break, but continuing our conversation with head coach Dustin Kerns. And, I was thinking about Terence and the recruiting process. And when we were on the road last year at Old Dominion, I had a chance to speak with Lefty Drizel, who was in attendance. And he told me a funny story about recruiting back when he was a head coach and how the way guys got on his radar was there was like a recruiting brochure or a magazine that got emailed out, or not emailed, but mailed out back in the day to coaches all across the country. I would imagine things are a little different in 2024. As you guys start the recruiting process with high school kids, how were you first finding them or they first finding you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's many different ways. Sometimes it's through relationships with high school coaches or AAU coaches. They have a guy that you need to take a look at, or there are some. We don't subscribe to a ton of recruiting services because they're so expensive, but we do subscribe to some. The local people. There's an App State grad that runs one in North Carolina, so we're very supportive of him. But there's different ways, obviously, but a lot of them are through relationships and contacts. Sometimes it's our own players. Hey, I had a guy that I played AAU with that he's playing really well, and he like to recruit you. You guys look at him, but certainly we've got we want talent, but most importantly, we want the right talent, and that's one thing that is I think stands out in 2024. Right, is getting people that surrender themselves for the team is a competitive advantage, and sometimes people can just put a group of people together. But when you truly have a team, people that care about the team, it's a competitive advantage, and certainly we have that.
You mentioned your own players, and I always think that's interesting because you host recruits, they're exposed to the team. That's kind of the first impressions they get of the program or your players. How important is it to have guys that not only you've recruited successfully that are doing well, but then able to go on and be part of that sales pitch and represent the program to the next wave of recruits?
Well, they're our best salesmen, and when we return a lot of players like we have been fortunate over the years, we've had 3 all-conference players come back for their COVID year. That speaks volumes with parents and other recruits when people keep coming back here. And so certainly last year in the spring when we had a Trayvon Spillers or a Jordan Marsh on a visit or Miles Tate, you know, the guys they're playing with, they got to play with, they got to spend time with. And those were our best salesmen. So your best recruits are the ones that have already chosen App State. And certainly we've got a really good group. Like I said, I'm really proud of the fact of our 13 scholarship players, 12 of them chose App State for the first time. And that's something we're proud of.
All right, on the road this week for a Wednesday matchup with Texas State, and then home on Saturday for the Sun Belt MAC Challenge. And just as I kind of look at those teams for the first time, one thing that really jumps out is that neither one of those teams shoot very many threes. You just played a team in Georgia Southern that shoots among the top 5 in the nation in terms of the percentage of points they score from three-point range. What is it like just to have such a variety of different styles and strengths in the conference and now non-conference as well?
Yeah, we're seeing different styles of play, and there's quick turnarounds. And then I think that once again, I think that the position that we've put ourselves in, being right now in the top of the league, we're also getting different schemes. And so I don't know if teams are saying, hey, listen, we can just go play App State straight up. And so they're scheming, they're putting new things in, they're trying different new things to try to get us out of rhythm. And so now you're dealing with that in game as well. And certainly we've been able to overcome some of that. Certainly it hasn't been easy, but we're seeing different styles. And we've got another new style on Wednesday, and we've got we're leaving tomorrow morning for Texas State, San Marcos.
And then back here on Saturday, another opportunity to come watch this team and to pack the home center against Toledo. We said it earlier today on social media, but App State as a program has sold out games against the ACC, the SEC, the SoCon, the Sun Belt. A chance to do it this weekend against the MAC.
Yeah, let's do it. Like the last time we were in the home center, it was a competitive advantage with our crowd, with our community, with our students. And it really felt like that they were there to see App State play. And that's a huge deal. It raises the level of our players. It hurts our opponent. And I think this team has earned that. Okay? This is the best start since 1940. That's a long time, right? And
that was not a Division I team.
Yeah, I don't know much more.
Best start in D1 history.
But this team has earned, I think, the crowds and the attendance and the atmosphere. And I think that's one advantage we've always got at Kid Brewer Stadium, right? Like we got 30,000 plus in there because App State's playing. Like we can do the same in basketball, and we've shown that this year. And so can you imagine if we had that James Madison crowd coming up on Saturday versus Toledo and then moving forward every game? It'd be a lot of fun, and I think that this team has earned that.
Absolutely. Certainly looking forward to it, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Go Mountaineers, take the stairs.
That's head coach Dustin Kerns joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. We'll take a timeout and turn the page and focus on the women's team. Taylor Lewis joins us right after this. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it's continuing right after this from Learfield.
A winning of its parts in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
Catawba Valley Engineering and Testing is an App State alumni-owned full-service geotechnical engineering, environmental, construction materials testing, and special inspections consulting firm based in Hickory. Maintaining pace with the latest technology and developments allows us to provide cost-effective services. The high number of returning clients reflect their confidence in our staff and our ability to provide quality results. Visit us at cvet.net to learn more. Catawba Valley Engineering and Testing is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
We'll have more Mountaineer Talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
What does it mean to be first for teaching? First, we listen. First, we engage. First, we recognize potential. You have what it takes: the drive, the smarts, and the heart to be the kind of educator who changes and inspires lives. 2 million kids are waiting for you, but first, your journey starts right here. Be first. Be an App State teacher. Learn more at firstteach.appstate.edu.
Serving the high country for over 40 years, Blue Ridge Realty and Investments is the #1 independent firm in the region. Blue Ridge Realty delivers exceptional results, handling a full range of real estate services, including sales, rentals, management, and development. Selling or buying? Put our trusted team to work for you. Reach us at 877-962-1986 and at BlueRidgeRealty.net. Blue Ridge Realty and Investments is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. Just to tie a bow on that trivia contest, we do have several winners, but the first person with the correct answer was Thomas Sherrill. So Thomas, our staff will reach out to you and connect you with those 4 tickets to the women's game against ULM on Wednesday, and then against for the men's team against Toledo on Saturday. Transitioning to the women's side of things, Taylor Lewis joining us now. And Taylor, a big game for you on Saturday on the road. We talked about how hard it is to get road wins in this conference. You go on the road to Coastal Carolina on their senior day, no less, and you pick up a win. What was it like just kind of building confidence on that road trip?
I don't think it was that hard just because, like, they scheduled the game for senior night, and I think a lot of my teammates, like, we took that personal. So it was kind of easy to go out there with extra motivation to beat them on that night.
What was working for you that game? I mean, you stepped right up and hit 5 3-pointers like it was nothing.
Honestly, talking to my coaches, just having confidence when I shoot the ball and coming in the game, and I knew that Mo, being a big piece on the defensive end, she was in foul trouble, so I had to bring something to the table, so shooting was what it was.
Let's talk about your season so far. You start the first couple games of the year, get hurt in the second game of the season, and you have to miss some time out from mid-November until January. What was that process like to battle through injury and now on the other side of it be able to get back in the lineup and contribute the way you have?
Well, it was really hard. I don't think I seen this where I'm at right now. All I could see was the injury then, especially being my senior year. It was my first time getting hurt in college, so it was really hard for me mentally, but I stuck through it. My teammates was there for me and kept it positive, so it was pretty good to see the ball go in that many times because, I mean, I've kind of been struggling since I've came back from injury.
What's it like kind of getting back? I mean, you're talking about that transition to being able to not only get back on the floor healthy, but kind of find a rhythm again. What is it both mentally and physically that it takes to really start to feel confident again once you get back from injury?
The mental aspect, just not thinking about it so much, not letting...
So I shouldn't have asked you.
No, more so don't live and die by, like, if you do good or if you don't. I think for me, the physical, like I've always been in the gym, like I've been in the gym a lot, but like the work wasn't showing in the early games when I came, and I think that now it's starting to show up, like the work is starting to show from the gym. So,
how would you describe what your role is for this team this season, whether it be shooting, rebounding? Like, what do you feel like you have to bring to the table when you take the floor?
I know everybody kind of sees like shooting, but for me, Coach Angel always talks about that my leadership is kind of my biggest aspect to the game. So I think leadership.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. You're one of the more veteran players on this team. Let's kind of talk about your route through college basketball. You start your career at Middle Tennessee State, and you transfer to App, and you transferred during COVID. And I would imagine that navigating the transfer portal in general can be stressful, can be challenging. You did it during a stressful and challenging time already. What was that experience like, and what ultimately helped you settle on App State?
For me, it was more so relationships. I couldn't really go off of like who I know or like what like I saw, because it was no visit, so I had to go like on Zoom, and I had to just trust that like at the time Coach Pierce that was here, I had a very close relationship with him. He recruited me since high school, and I just went with that instead of like, you know, over analyzing where I should go. I just took a leap of faith.
It's worked out.
Yeah.
We got a question from our email chat line. They want to know about your shoe game. What kind of shoes are you buying these days?
Well, I'm getting older. I know last year I told you guys a lot of Jordans, but I'm kind of now to the old women's shoe, like right here.
So out with the style, in with the comfort.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so it's all about practicality now.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less money.
Pockets was hurting.
Yeah.
So I had to give up on the $100 shoes. I'm more $50 range now.
But those look comfy. Those look like they're maybe good for a road trip on the bus.
They are.
In the hotel. One of your other hobbies is cooking. What is it that you like to cook these days?
Well, I've kind of been cutting back on a lot of meat, so more so like fish, shrimp. I'm real big on oxtails. They're very expensive, so I don't cook them as much.
So out with the shoes, in with the oxtails.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a thing with buying a lot of expensive things. I also like Italian food. I'm real big on Italian food, so that's like very popular in my kitchen right now.
There you go. As we wrap things up here, looking ahead to the final stretch in conference play, what does success look like for you, and what is it like to be able to protect homes and protect your home court here moving forward?
I think we also take pride in protecting our home court. We've only lost once here. So like when teams come here, I think they need to realize like it's very hard to play on this floor, and we really take pride in that. Coach Angel always talks about like protecting the house. So we kind of take that personal as far as a team, and I think we just got to focus on the little things: rebound, defend, knock down shots, and I think like we'll shock a lot of people in the conference.
You checked all those boxes on Saturday. 16 points, 5 made threes, 9 rebounds. Taylor, appreciate the time and congratulations. Best of luck here the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Taylor Lewis joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. We'll take a break, but first, want to make sure that we let you know to check out App State's online MBA program, which allows you to earn our nationally recognized MBA wherever you are. Check it out online at mba.appstate.edu. Evan Turkish makes his Mountaineer Talk debut right after this. It's presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. He joins the show next after these words from Learfield.
Covering App State service in the area. With Carolina West Wireless, Mountaineers get the most reliable coverage on campus and across the country with our high-speed nationwide network. We have all the latest devices you want, including Apple and Samsung. We're so confident in the experience you'll have with us, we're offering a 30-day risk-free trial. Carolina West Wireless is proud to be the official wireless provider of the Mountaineers. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
You've already come to know UNC Health Blue Ridge as the home of compassionate and high-quality care. Now, with the opening of our $38 million cancer center this fall and a new 6-story patient tower next fall, UNC Health Blue Ridge has become the standard for growth and innovation. The tower project on our Morganton campus will have advanced critical care patient rooms and a rooftop helipad. UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward for the Mountain region. Visit us at unchealthblueridge.org to learn more.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
Window World, America's largest exterior remodeler and the official exterior remodeler of App State Athletics, provides exceptional quality windows, siding, doors, and more. They are headquartered right here in North Carolina and have enhanced over 100,000 homes across over 30 counties for over 25 years. Improving your largest investment with energy-efficient products and creating amazing curb appeal is what they do best. From the high country to the Triad and the Catawba Valley to Asheville and beyond. Call, click, or visit Window World, the official exterior remodeler of App State Athletics today.
Mountaineer fans love driving Subarus from Modern Subaru of Boone. And when you buy with Go Modern, you can choose your vehicle, value your trade, pick your payments, apply for credit, even complete your entire purchase online. Or just do the parts you want and pick up where you left off at the dealership. Go Modern puts you in control so you can buy where you want, when you want, and how you want. Get started at modernsubaruofboone.com. Proud supporter of App State Athletics.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. Thanks so much for being with us here at River Street Ale House or wherever you're checked into our show tonight. Evan Turkish alongside in for Angel Elderkin this week. Let's get to know Evan a little bit. Your first year here in Boone. You're with JMU last year, won the conference title, and it's an interesting journey for you in college basketball, but let's just start with what attracted you to App State and brought you to Boone here this year.
So, obviously playing them last year, we had experience, had a ton of respect for the way they played and the conversation I had with Coach Angel. She's just a tremendous person. She called me, said they had an opening. My wife and I came down here, and everybody that I had talked to said she's the best boss you'll ever have, and she's as good as advertised. So her and the players they had coming back, I thought we had a chance to do something special, and I'm really just blown away by the community here and the support from the administration.
That's awesome. Let's go back in your career. You play college basketball. You actually started playing for an App State guy, Bobby Cremins. Any good App State stories from when you were at the College of Charleston playing for him?
So he was older when I had him. He had come out of retirement, and he literally would go down the roster and said we could not guard him back in his prime. So he was not shy about always letting us know he was the best player in the gym if he could still play.
Okay. And then you go on and you played some professional basketball in Arizona. What was that experience like? How did you find out about that opportunity?
So it was so I played baseball in Arizona.
Okay.
It was I was out there in the summer training when I was still in college, and the facility where I trained, the person that owned it was one of the coaches in the league. He said, when you're done, if you want to play, there's a spot for you. So got done, graduated, and that night, my dad and I, we drove to Arizona and played a semi-pro baseball league.
That's awesome. All right, so before you really got fully immersed in coaching, you were doing data analytics. How did you go from working for a 9-to-5 suit and tie type job to, not only did you start coaching AAU, but you jumped in fully into the college world? Like, what did it take to make that transition in your life?
So it was it's an interesting path. So I was doing analytics and automation in the corporate world. And then on the weekends, I was flying. I coached a girls' EYBL team in Virginia for 4 years. And then after work, I would go and I was an assistant high school coach.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So it was a lot of work, but I knew eventually I wanted to be a college coach. And that's the path I took. And I just worked, and eventually the opportunity came.
There's so much talk in this day and age around sports and basketball included about analytics. How much of kind of the data and the analytic world that you were working in outside of sports have you found translates to basketball?
I think a lot. It makes it easier to process the data, understand how to quickly gather a large amount of data, sort through it, and then find the key metrics that are going to help the team improve. And Coach Angel is very big on analytics. Her and I think the same way and analytically how the game should be played, where the key advantages are, and how to measure a team's performance. And this year we have an outside firm that helps with the analytics, but we dissect every play we run, every play that's run against us. And after the game, we'll go through and say how many points we scored on each particular play and certain sets. So we know games where we won, how we've been successful, and especially going into the second round of conference, just being able to collect that data from the first game. You've seen the teams that we've played twice. We've scored 5-6 more points. And we beat Georgia Southern the second time around and went to Coastal and put up 7 more points in the second game than we did the first game.
Well, that's a good transition because we're going to get to this past week and talk about what you guys have upcoming on the court, and we'll do that right after we step aside. By the way, App State Athletics would like to extend a special thank you to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina for their sponsorship of Wednesday's women's basketball game against ULM. It's National Girls and Women's in Sports Day, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield sponsoring that Wednesday at the Home Center. Thank you to Blue Cross NC for your continued support of App State Athletics. More to come with assistant coach Evan Turkish right after this from Learfield.
Triple T Pumping has served the septic pumping for more than 20 years. Triple T Pumping services Watauga, Ashe, and Avery County and specializes in both residential and commercial septic and grease pumping and Porta-John rentals. Triple T also has restroom trailers to rent out for special events. To learn more about all of Triple T's pumping services and to get on their schedule, make sure to visit TripleTpumping.com or by giving them a call at 828-262-5745. Triple T Pumping's proud partner of App State Athletics.
For over 60 years, Daniel Boone Inn has been serving Boone and the High Country delicious family-style meals that take you back to your grandma's table. Whether it's our family-style dinner with our signature fried chicken and country ham biscuits served with traditional Southern vegetables, or our classic Southern breakfast with such favorites as scrambled eggs, local country ham, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, and more, you're sure to feel right at home at the Daniel Boone Inn. So be sure to stop by in pregame, postgame, or let us prepare your next tailgate at the Rock.
We'll have more Mountaineer talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
You, nature lover. Ever heard of us? We're Boone, North Carolina. High up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, with vistas that go on forever. Adventure that never stops, and challenges you've yet to try. We've got every outdoor pursuit you can imagine, and cozy lodging. Explore Boone.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. It's presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Assistant coach Evan Turkish alongside as we continue our conversation on App State women's basketball. Coach, let's go back to this past week. You guys are going up against Marshall on the road, a team that when you faced them was undefeated in Sunbelt play. You give them a good run at it. You're toe-to-toe the entire first half. And then from there, even though you fall short, you go on the road and take down Coastal. How much confidence did you feel like this team was able to build in the way they play on the road with the performances this past week?
I think a lot. The biggest thing for us is we're finally healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't been able to say that since pretty much the whole season. And I think you look at Taylor Lewis. She has 5 threes. You know, she breaks her shooting hand. So she gets back, and it takes a little bit of time for her to gain confidence. Emily Carver's out. It takes her a couple games for her to get her confidence back. And we were playing really well in the preseason. And I think now we're starting to see that the chemistry's back. Everybody's comfortable playing with each other again. I really do think that we played well. We shot it really well. But I think the confidence now that knowing we're fully healthy, I think our best basketball is ahead of us.
You talk about the injuries, and certainly that's unfortunately been a big part of the season. How has it changed how you have to coach in practice and how you're able to work on things in practice being shorthanded?
I think, and this is underrated, is the scout guys. Some days we don't have 10 to go against each other. So having a group of scout guys out there that we can play against every day. They're all here tonight. They're great.
And they're not shy about wanting shout-outs either.
No, they are not. They are not. But having them has been so valuable. We get a ton of reps and build chemistry for us. And I think being able to navigate through this injury spell that we've had, a lot of credit goes to them for us being able to do it.
We got a question via email for you. The zone offense has been something that fans have picked up on over the last stretch. What do you attribute your success to running a zone break on offense, or how you've been able to navigate different styles of the way the teams have played against you?
So if you see us play, our biggest thing is transition. We're 6th in the country in transition shots taken. We're, I think as of today, 16th in the country in transition points scored. For us, we have seen zone recently just because of our pace gives teams trouble. But getting Taylor back, getting Emily back, those are arguably our 2 best 3-point shooters. And Coastal tried to play us in zone, and we shot them out of it. I think anytime you're giving Taylor Lewis and Emily Carver open threes, and Faith Alston, that's 3 elite scorers. So teams really have to pick their poison against us.
All right, let's look ahead to the week upcoming, and you have ULM at home on Wednesday, and then you go on the road and you take part in the second leg of this Sun Belt MAC Challenge at Western Michigan on Saturday. What's it like come the midway point of conference play, obviously having a lot of important games, and fortunately many of which at home down the stretch, but then also having a non-conference game mixed in to prepare for as well? Like, how do you prioritize that in the scheme of the Sun Belt?
So for us, we're focused on Monroe, and we'll be ready when Saturday comes to go to Western Michigan. But for us, Monroe's 2 games ahead of us. We're 2 games back of 4th place right now. Top 4 seeds get a bye. Monroe is a very talented team. 3 Power 5 transfers coming in, 3 high-level scoring guards, and it'll be a great test for us defensively, but also offensively. Is they played Troy, who's similar pace to us, and Troy had some success. So there are some clues for us on how to attack, and I think for us it's being back home we really control our own destiny, and it starts on Wednesday.
I think if I asked Angel Elderkin for the keys to Wednesday, she'd say pressure and pace. What would your words be for what's important for how this team play on Wednesday?
I mean, she's 100% correct, and we follow her lead. And pressure and pace, when we do those 2 things, we've had a lot of success.
As you have the rest of the Sun Belt ahead of you, and you talk about finally getting healthy and players starting to kind of fill their role, whether it be Emily Carver, whether it be Taylor Lewis, how do you see, I mean, you talk about the kind of pick your poison. How do you see everyone else getting better because of the players that are coming back and the ability for everyone to kind of find their niche?
So it really is. Our team chemistry has been great, but it all starts with Faith Alston. I mean, Faith Alston, she drives the bus, and arguably she's the best point guard in the conference. I think her ability to get anywhere on the court at any time makes it easier for the rest of the players. And I think the unselfishness of this team, we're giving up average shots to get great shots. And I think that's the biggest key, is the chemistry on the court, but also off the court with this group.
I feel like the analytics say giving up average shots for great shots equals success, no?
Yeah, that's it worked on Saturday for us.
Well, Coach, keep it rolling. Appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.
Evan Turkish joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. And before we take our final break, App State Athletics would like to thank Alumni Hall, our official online store. Shop the latest and largest selection of App State apparel, hats, Yeti, and all your game day gear, including brands like Nike, by visiting Alumni Hall on King Street, or shop anytime at appstatesports.com or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, the ultimate Mountaineer shopping destination. We'll wrap up the show right after this. It's Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues next from Learfield.
You've already come to know home of compassionate and high-quality care. Now, with the opening of our $38 million cancer center this fall and a new 6-story patient tower next fall, UNC Health Blue Ridge has become the standard for growth and innovation. The tower project on our Morganton campus will have advanced critical care patient rooms and a rooftop helipad. UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward for the mountain region. Visit us at unchealthblueridge.org to learn more.
Today we have two very special guests on our program. Introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip? Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
Come join us for the best dining experience in Boone at The Beacon. Whether you're looking for a special place to mark an important milestone or just a casual meetup with friends, we've got you covered. Our menu is purposefully created to feature local and seasonal ingredients, artisan cocktails, and the best cornbread in town. Keep up with our weekly live music schedule, rotating menus, and other fun events and happenings by visiting BooneBeacon.com or by following us on Instagram. The Beacon is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
A winning team is more than the sum of its parts in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to the show as we wrap things up here on Mountaineer Talk. Thanks so much for joining us. If you missed any of our show tonight, you can catch it tomorrow morning in podcast form. Wherever you listen to podcasts, it's under the Nothing But an App State podcast umbrella. While we know you've been enjoying your time here at River Street Ale House, make sure to also check out Town Tavern Blowing Rock for great dining experiences. They're open for lunch, dinner, and later. They've got 19 flat screen TVs for you to catch the game. They also boast the largest outdoor dining area in the high country, so make sure to stop by Town Tavern Blowing Rock on your next trip to the high country. The women, again, home here on Wednesday night, 6:30 against ULM. App State 11-11 this season, 5-6, right in the middle of the pack of Sun Belt play. We've talked about that home success this year at the home center. The women 7-1 at home, and they've got 5 more home conference games to go. So make sure you stop by the home center and check out the App State women in action beginning this Wednesday at 6:30 against ULM. And it's, again, National Girls and Women in Sports Day. They will then hit the road, face Western Michigan Saturday at 2 o'clock. The men, they're on the road to start the week at Texas State on Wednesday. That's a 8 o'clock Eastern time tip-off. Our pregame coverage on the radio gets you set beginning at 7:30. And then here against Toledo on Saturday, 1 o'clock tip-off time, and our pregame coverage gets you set beginning at 12:30 as the men look to improve to 20-4 for the first time in program history and stay atop the Sun Belt standings. For Alex Francis and Matty Yates, I'm Matt Present. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week here on Mountaineer Talk.